Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Brown. I am doing my oral presentation for my 490 class. Let's start with the intro. So my name is Aisha Brown. As stated before, I go to Coppin State University and I am a first generation student. I chose Coppin State because I finished Coppin Academy previously, and that was kind of like the best way to get into a 4-year college because they had a they let us get in with a fee waiver, so we just went. Well, I just went. uh Something about me, I am on different organizations here at Coppin State University. I am the captain for the 2021-2022 school year for the Lady Sapphires Majorette Dance Team, and I am also the social media liaison there and historian. Also, I am a part of SWA, the Social Work Association, and I am the social media liaison there. Some key social work values that I live by would be service and integrity. I choose service because I know, like, it's always you love to help people, but I don't know. I just find a joy in service. Like, I don't feel like service is like, oh, it's a dread or anything. Like, I really just like helping people. I love making like the community look better. I love the street cleanups. I love, feeding the homeless. So I think like service is like one of my best things that I love. Another thing about service, it really shows you like how you can make someone's situation better. Like, even like, donating clothes or donating shoes, you're potentially helping someone else who doesn't have those things. Integrity, I say integrity because in this line of work you have to have that. Like, you can't just come in there and not, I don't know, like you have to have integrity. Like, whatever you do, like whatever you choose to decide, like you have to like stand by on it. Like, you have to like show integrity. Like, this is what, like, you gotta be, I don't know, I guess you gotta be confident in like what you're working towards, or like whatever, like if you're helping somebody, like you have to have like their best interest because it's about them, it's not about us. um Also, I would say some other, like, it wouldn't be like social work like values, but some other things that I've learned over the course of years would be like empathy and like active listening. Like, for empathy, you really have to have, like, you have to be empathetic because some situations are like, from for like different clients, can be very like sad. So you have to bring out like this empathetic like aura for them, like to have them to trust you, because I feel like trust, even though like we're a social worker, trust is like a two-way thing, and you can't just expect someone to trust you and let them have all your secrets if you can't be like a little empathetic towards them. Like, show them like you are really there for them as a social worker. And I say active listening because you can't want to help somebody and not listen to them. Like, you can't throw your opinions at them because it's not about you, it's about them. So you have to give them facts. Like, so you have to be an active listener, because what if a certain situation happened and you weren't really active listening, you were just like nodding and just like letting things slide, and something could potentially happen worse in that situation. um how have I evolved professionally? Honestly, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, I feel like I've become more confident in the things that I have done over the course of the year. Like, at first, when I first started field at Oasis Health Ventures, I was scared because I was really like, it doesn't really hit you until like the end, but like I really was working with like clients and things like that, like supervised, of course. But I was really working with clients, and I was like scared because it was like, well, I don't know what to really tell you guys because like I'm not a social worker, so I only can go based off like not even my experiences because I don't really have that much experience, but like my textbook knowledge, how we're supposed to work with clients or like just textbook stuff. So it was kind of like, oh my goodness, I'm really like helping, like wow, I don't know, but as time went on, I got better with like actually talking because at first I was like kind of scared to talk to the clients because it's like ah, sir, I don't, ma'am, I'm a little scared because this is like my first time. Like, I'm really stepping out of my comfort zone because I don't really talk to people, that often. And then I would say I've become more aware and more open minded because a lot of people come in with different situations. So you kind of have to be open minded. Like, you can't be closed minded when people are telling you things. You can't just jump to conclusions like, oh, I've heard this before. Everyone's different. So you kind of just have to, like, I don't know, you just gotta be there in the moment with them. I just feel like I've evolved pretty well. Like I've come a long way. I don't know. I just feel like now, like I know what is expected in this field. Like I have a lot of confidence in myself now, especially working with clients. Any lingering challenges? I think that would be like the termination process. Like I think that is like the hardest part for me recently. And it's kind of like I don't want to leave, but I have to because my semester's over. I'm graduating, so I have to leave. But I just feel bad because it's like we work like I've had this one client for the whole year, and it's kind of like wow, I'm about to really leave you, and I'm like I don't feel like we're done. I feel like I can help you some more. So it's kind of bittersweet, and it's kind of like that would be like one of my challenges is like letting go, and not to say forgetting, but just like I don't want to say disassociating myself, but like letting them go in a way, because that can be kind of like wow, I'm really like leaving and I don't want to leave because I still feel like I have work to be done. So I think that would be one of them. Like, the termination process and like, self reflecting on like what happened over the course of the year with the client, how long I've been with the client, like, have I really helped you? Or like, just really thinking like, what have I done to successfully help this person? So, some skill sets. I'm gonna just go with what I know. So I guess some skill sets would be learning, like me for myself. A skill set would be learning how to do an IRP or learning how to do an intake, because I think that's a skill to have. Because like if you don't have that skill, then it's it's gonna be hard when you like have an actual client, because you have to like do an intake and you have to know like what should be like on an intake form, or like what the client should be signing like on the intakes, and you should be able to explain what the intake is entailed. IRP reviews. I would say ICANN notes has been one of my biggest skill sets that I can write on my resume. ICANN notes, because that's how you document. Like we document through ICANN notes that this is what happened on this day. This is what happened. Like when I called the client. So I would say like those are like some of my skill sets. What is a social worker to me? I feel like a social worker is a person who, let's see. A social worker is a person who's dedicated to helping the community. A social worker is a person who's dedicated to putting in time, putting in work with an individual or family. Like a social worker to me is someone who is what's the words? Who's in the community, who's not known, but like who actually helps, who's someone who's an advocate for that community or an advocate for this organization. Like I feel like a social worker is a person who just, who's there to help, but who's also there to keep things balanced. A social worker to me is someone who has experience working with different people and knows how to active listen and knows how to use empathy or have great time management, because you could have 50 clients come in and you won't get through IRPs that one day. So like you have to like be an active listener, and you have to handle your time well. A successful social worker in my book is someone who does self-care. Like if you don't have self-care, it's over. I just feel like self-care is one of those things that every social worker must have to successfully succeed in this role. And that's because without self-care, you burn out easily. Like you just gotta find your way back from burnout. You gotta find your way back from a lot, because you hear so many stories throughout um throughout the day, and it's kind of like you get not burnt out listening to it, but you can get very overwhelmed. And if you don't have like an outlet, you kind of like you suffer. So it's like you're putting on your clients hardships while you're also adding to your own. So that's what I think a social worker is, someone who has balance and who does self-care so they don't run into those situations. And granted, sometimes you can't always self-care, but as long as that's one of the main things that gets done by a social worker, then they're good in my book. That's what I think a social worker is. And this was my oral presentation. I hope I did good. Yeah, thank you.